one thing on YouTube, but welcome in YouTube. What I'm seeing is recently I would start the go live. Cool. And then it would also mark like this really old Coral Island stream as going live as well, and I don't want that. I'm not sure if this chat is still good, so let me go ahead and redo that. But anyways, we're going to be checking out Supercar Collection Simulator. This is another game falling into that like supermarket simulator-esque genre, where you run a retail store and all that. I believe this one's pretty early access, as you can see by like, there's no warehouse or anything going in. It's interesting that this one is also looking at adding a versus mode for like the slot car races and all that, and whatnot. We'll go ahead and pop in here. I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the volume again. But yeah, well, that's interesting. Oh, it's got... One second. Okay, so that one does work. So interestingly enough, they don't seem to have a sound effects bar. So it seems like you set your master volume, and then you can lower the music bar. But if you want the sound effects higher, or sorry, if you wanted to make the music higher, there's no separating the sound effects in that. I don't know if that'll be a big deal, but it is a curious thing. We got some button controls here, sensitivity, not a lot here. Not much in the way of accessibility, but that's okay. That doesn't necessarily mean anything's wrong. You gotta wait and see. We'll go and hit new game and go from there. But, the lack of accessibility settings doesn't really matter as long as the game is made with accessibility consideration. Alright, so we're jumping right in. But yeah, to clarify, you're running a show that's basically selling, like, slot cars. So, like, the little car where there's a track and there's, like, a little rail and it's got a peg and it zips around on it. So it's saying Supercar store. We're not selling, like, Lamborghinis or anything. We're selling, like, little collectible slot cars. They do have, like, a card game thing in it, which I don't know about, and then there's the cars themselves. Let's see. Order boxes of legendary toy cars and display them in your shop. Expand... Hi, lady. Expand your collection with surprise cars from boxes. Are you ready for your adventure to become the biggest car collector? Let's start. Okay, so first off, I'm turning that mouse sensitivity up. I like that we actually hustle here. Like, this is a pretty fast movement speed for these games. But, how far can I go, by the way? Oh, invisible wall. I like that we hustle. Because so many of these games, your character's movement speed is, like, really a nothing burger. The mouse sensitivity needs to be turned up. I'm also curious to just see, like, running around real fast, how far we can go. How tall am I? I am, in real life, I am tall man. I feel straight up Slenderman levels of tall in this game. Like, I'm genuinely like going up to these regular doors, not our store door, but like a door like this. I feel like we're ducking just a little. The lighting looks a little off. It's bright. I wouldn't say it's necessarily bad. I honestly don't mind it being a little on the bright side. Alright, give. That's probably fine. But yeah, so I don't mind. Alright, so tutorial. Open the Wholesaler app on your tablet and place your first order. Wholesaler. Boom. We don't know anything about the game, so we'll just buy it. Your order has arrived. Take your order. Okay. Now put the products on the shelf. What? Oh, that's weird. Okay, so I have one complaint, and what's confusing me there is it kind of supports Dvorak, but kind of doesn't. So, if we look, I'll switch back to Dvorak. So I do have the correct movement keys. That's working fine. What would be WASD for you, but for me on Dvorak is not. But when it comes to the buttons on the left side of the screen, that is using QWERTY still. So like, my step to the right is E, so I gotta put that down and pick it up. So it's weirdly like doing both. And so I'm not sure about why. Okay, so it automatically priced them. I appreciate that. Oh, you go in the tiny little trash can? That's coming inside. Set product price. Take a surprise box from the shelf and open it. Okay, so backs are all the same. Cool, so I got a bunch of little cars. Open the car collection. Car collection. So we have a lot of different cars there. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like just under 8 whole sections. Open your store. Place products into shopping bag to complete order. Alright, so we're definitely talking a very early access version of this. I do like that the character models in this one aren't the same 5 character models we see in every single, like, one of these games. Like, they are their own thing. Don't make me type it in. Now you're ready. Fill your shelves and start selling things and make your best store. Okay. Is it bad that, like, already I'm like, why do you make me do this? It annoys me so much with this genre. Okay, space. That they're always like, you enter all the numbers manually. It's like, that's not how these work. In real life, almost all of these systems nowadays, you just scan the item and the price is there. And, you know, they hand you the money or whatever. Like, cash, you still gotta deal with what you gotta deal with cash. Uh, 25. I guess I want you to feel rewarded when you get a worker, or feel you need a worker. Yeah. I do appreciate that all the items go to the same spot. So instead of having to do a thing that you go around and be like, item, 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 that they do seem to all come up to the same spot on the conveyor. So I can just click a lot. Alright. Hot Wheels, you mean Supercar? Yeah, no, it's, I'm not sure if they're supposed to be Hot Wheels. They look, I think they're supposed to be slot cars. Because you can get, like, a slot car track. Can you use the keypad to enter them? We could try. Oh, wait. Hang on, I need to get off here. We're not open, go away. I ran out of product. Wholesaler, do this. Man, we're closed. Okay, one box at a time. Alright, one thing we're also going to do is I'm going to try and figure out where my mouse has gone. There you are. Because this music, get out of here. All of this, get out of here. So both their music loops are like 30 seconds long. The music seems even quieter than normal. There, that's about right. Okay. And I'm assuming we have to get through our first day, and then we'll get new stuff. Car shop. Supercars. Buy them or else. Oh, I can't do that. Buy them or die. Okay, so we want to test a numpad. It does work. So insights. Leaderboards. I have $9. Collections, workers. So we need to be level 6. Payments. We don't have anything to pay. It looks like our first store upgrade is $750. Hope everyone's like... Why are you staring at me? I hope everyone's like flowers. I mean, flowers are fine. Okay. So I am curious when the day's over. Will this be one of those ones that, like, the next day, will it, like, the market price update and then I have to go through and re-sign everything, like Supermarket Simulator did? I don't know if it still does. Or if it'll be like some of the other games where, like, you can just be like, hey, I want this at market price, plus 20% or whatever. Okay, it's hit 9 p.m. and the clock stopped moving, so I'm assuming... Yeah, I'm assuming... Yeah, it's saying, like, the end of the day. So there's not a whole lot else I can do right now. Daily customer report. Total number of customers, 21. Satisfied customers, 19. That's because we had the 2 customers who showed up when I closed with no inventory and they still walked in. So the income for today was minus $162. But that's not taking into consideration that we have inventory we didn't have yesterday. So payments, I have to pay my bills. Apparently those are going to be daily, which is a bit terrifying. Store manager, we can get ourselves more area. A wholesaler. So at level 3, I can get more of these. Oh, I already hate that. So it does look like every single day... Oh, did I ask 1 second? Actually, I switched it back to, Dvorak. So it does look like you'll have to update your prices every single day. I'm honestly not a big fan of that. The reason I'm not a big fan of that is that basically means every single day when you start the day, you kind of just need to go around to all of your shelves and update them. And with, like, it's probably fine at this stage of the game, but once we start getting, you know, 20, 30 different products on our shelves and all that, that means every single day is just go to this one, update it, go to this one, update, go to this one, update. Unless we can get an employee who it's like, they're the signing employee and they just go around, they say make it 10% over. Let's see. I didn't think. Can we round that number? There. That means after this, no coins. I think, I was gonna say, it's like, I wonder if I could push up to $15 and not have to deal with ones. I think that might end up being too much, though. Yes, this level 6 is our first employee. Level 5, I don't remember what it was. There's something at level 5. Level 3 was our next product. Oh, wait. You gave me exact change. I wasn't prepared for it. Movie night? Gonna watch Jurassic? Well, I hope you have a good time with all your Jurassic stuff. But yeah, so far, when it comes to like what it's added / done with the formula, not too much. It's pretty standard. I do think they did a good job in just making it so the character models are different. I have noticed they don't have static outfits. It does appear that they've got like a certain number of different pants, certain number of different heads, certain number of different hairdos, that kind of thing. And then they're mixing and matching them, which is a little nice because one thing I'd say that's kind of notorious for this genre, the supermarket-esque genre, is almost all of them will grab like the same Unity packages or whatever it is to like get the store functioning kind of thing. And then they'll grab like the same cheap character models and all that. And so they all look very the same. While this one, the actual store building is pretty stereotypical. At least the characters look different, even if they are just, you know, rotating in kind of static people. As far as like, I don't care much for the having to constantly change pricing. I'm okay with the game having the idea that your prices go up and down. I would either want it to be 2 or 3 items, go up or down each day, and then from that UI I can update their prices, just for the quality of life. Or you could just either that or say like, hey, I want to charge, you know, 10% above market. And I'm okay if it's like locked behind an upgrade or something, which might be the case. But like the whole idea of the beginning of every single day having to just spend all your time updating the signing is like, oh, I don't want to do that. Wholesaler. Skill cards. I don't know what those are. Other products. Oh, there is another product we can buy. Furniture. Card display shelf. I see. So we will expand our store at the end of this in-game day. You can tell this is like an early access version of the game, considering they're like, here's your shelf, end of tutorial. And literally everything has been left for us to figure out, which is, it's okay, I guess. But I could see where, you know, if you didn't realize that, you'd spend 2 or 3 in-game days going, my god, when am I going to unlock something? So wholesaler, other products. Would you go into a stone that's one shelf of the counter and otherwise empty? I mean, it's a little weird, but also not the worst. 10%, 64 bucks. Approve. I mean, honestly, like one store, it depends on what it is, because you look at some stores like some, like there are types of stores that do generally not have a large range of stuff. You don't see it very often because very genuinely, shelf space is a huge premium in most forms of retail. Like, I would look at it and be like, oh man, this person's not gonna make it. Okay, so wholesale manager. Buy 2 boxes of that. Sir, we're closed. Or ma'am? Not really sure, honestly. Gonna go with ma'am. Okay. That's fine. We'll go ahead and pass the day. Alright. I don't know what daily improvement is, because it's staying at 0. We have technically lost a bunch of money. All of our customers were happy. You go, I love the last second customer. Aw, man. I used to hate dealing with a lot of that stuff when I worked retail. You know, your store's been open all day, and the person just rolling in at literally like the last second, you're like, come on, man. I want to go home. Alright, so it looks like... Is that just a poster for decoration? Cool. Alright. It happens a lot. Oh, yeah. And you get it sometimes. The person's trying to do all those errands in one day. And, like, they really need to. It's just, unfortunately, it happens. But then there's the one where the person comes in, like, you know, the store closes at 10 p.m. They roll in at, like, 9:58. And they're kind of just wandering the store, shopping around. And you're like, look, man. If you didn't come here with a purpose, kindly get out. Like, again, I get it. You needed a hammer. You managed to skate into the place last second because, you know, you were working a job. You couldn't get there earlier. Shit happens. I get it. It's fine. My apologies for the swearing. I know it's not a big one, but whatever. But yeah, that person who's just like, they're mucking about, wandering the electronics department, they're going over the tools department, they're looking at the fitness stuff. You're like, dude, like, scoot. I did appreciate after a while the retail store I was at, they kind of had, it was like a last call. They're like, hey, you know, the store's closing, make your way to the register, like, you know, once a person exits the department, you just start shutting down all the registers there and like funneling them all up to the front register kind of thing. And it was very, very quickly like, if you're not like actively moving out of this place, like, we will end up just closing and being like, sorry, man. Oh. You know, you gotta go. Because just unfortunately the reality of when you spend that time shopping, like, you have to have your sales people still out there, you have to have your cashiers people out there, you still have to have your warehouse people out there, you have to have your managers there. And so it's not like, oh, it's not that big a deal, you just gotta have someone working. It's like, no, man, you're basically forcing the company to keep, like, 10 plus people standing around waiting on you. That unless you're gonna be spending thousands of dollars in those couple of minutes, and I'm talking like thousands of dollars, you're just costing the retail store money. Which is why, again, they kind of shoot you towards being like, hey, you need to either make your purchase or you need to come back later. Big spender, this one. This feels like the kind of game that'd be really easy to exploit the UI on it. Or not the UI, the AI on it. That I'm willing to bet just the way it selects what products it's buying is probably kind of predetermined for what you got on your shelf. I'm willing to bet you could abuse it by just buying nothing but the high-value items and piling them up there. They might have, like, layers to it or something that they come seeking certain products. But we haven't had anyone, like, walk away being like, oh, you don't have what I wanted. Oop. Alright, level 3 is when we get our next product. Yeah, because so far I've only had one or two people who walked out, and that was when I physically just ran out of stuff on my shelves. Yeah, it's $600, I think. Was it 600 or... No, 400. Oh, it goes on the wall. I understand. Okay. I was sitting there like, what? When I couldn't place it on the floor. Because I should be able to buy a new product now, and I believe that thing I'm going to be putting on the wall there lets me sell the cars that we pull out of the packages. Yep, that's exactly what it does. Alright, well, look. This needs to happen. So far we're losing money, because these are 14 each. I like how I can just already know that this is a good one, even though we haven't turned it over. Okay. Just casually pull out a $1,000 car. Order by count. There. Okay. Like, you're supposed to keep your eye on the customer to make sure they don't start messing around wasting stuff? Yeah. It's the way you handle is at 10 p.m., which is closing time. You'd approach the customer and say it's time for us to close. We will give you a couple minutes with what you need. That's time to go. Yeah, it's basically stuff along that. Hey, the ints. How's it going? Oh, and then check the prices. I don't feel like going over that. Yeah, it's fine. I wonder if it's one of those things where it changes a little each day, so you don't really need to worry about it every single day, but maybe circle back, like, once an in-game week to see, like, if it's really done. Broke your brain on Blueprint State? Gotcha. Well, I hope you had fun with that. Oh, you're getting a car. I was like, are you walking out of my store? Do we got to talk? Why are you buying, like, the cheap, crappy car? Oh, no, I get it. You got, like, a little brother? Oh, I see. Because they stopped dealing with change earlier. But since they put those individual cars up, we're back into dealing with change. Yeah, it'd be nice if it had a percentage after profit. Yeah. That's actually, like, all that stuff's kind of just notorious for this genre. But what I'm gonna go ahead and do is this, which is a shout out for the ints, for those who don't know the ints. Our fantastic content creator, as a heads up, does stream in German. So you know if you don't speak the language, that'll be a thing you gotta worry about. But plays a bunch of similar games that we play here. So you can go ahead and check that out over there. But good times and all that, so 57.26. Meanwhile, I need to go wholesaler. Cool, so I can get a bigger box now. So here's the big question. So you are basically literally... You're technically 1 penny more than double the price. I'm being taken advantage of, chat. I'm being charged an extra penny for buying in bulk. And I need to buy more of the racetracks. Especially now that whatever that person's outfit is supposed to be. Okay, we got more products now. Okay. I'm glad it does not appear that there's like an overhead for ordering stuff. Oh, there is. It's $2 though. Hey, Mario. How you doing? I do like in TCG Card Shop Simulator, it definitely becomes one of those things that you just like go gremlin in the corner and just start opening packages of cards after a while. That amuses me. They've got your entire store sitting there and you're just in the back room opening entire boxes of cards by yourself. I will say, so far, the opening the packages in this one versus like TCG Card Shop Simulator isn't nearly as satisfying. Because even when he pulled that like $1,000 car, whatever it was, the fanfare just like wasn't there compared to it. It's like little light chime, and you're like, oh, I guess I got something really fancy. I kind of feel like there should be a little bit more excitement about the pulling a car worth $1,000 out of a package of cards that costs $14. Okay. Everyone's happy, we gained a level. I like how it's like every single day, it's like, you lost money. Alright, so let's look here. Market price plus 10%, yeah, so it'd still be $14 because I'm not dealing with change. Market price plus 10%, $62. Okay. You know, I just gotta pay my bills daily. It's a 10:05. You want all customers out of the store. However, every once in a while, you make exceptions. Like one day, we had a whole baseball team come in right before closing, and the game went to an extra inning. An extra inning and it ended late. There was like 30 kids and their coaches showed up. The team busted like 9:55. You gave them some extra time because the circumstances lasted them left around 10:15. Yeah. Like, and again, it's especially if it's like they've come with intent. Like they came in, they have the one item they're there for, whatever handful of items they're there for. It's like, okay, like you get it. You know, crap happens. I understand. You didn't want to make us all stay late. But, you know, again, crap happens. But, like, that's again, they're going, it's like, hey, we need this, this, and this. And they're going through, and you can see them trying to, like, go around and get that done relatively quickly. It's like, hey, you know what? You know, cool, I get it. But it's another thing when they're doing that whole, like, meandering shopping thing, and you're like, come on, man. People to go home. That's actually one of the things when we're like going out pretty close to closing time for some place and I'm with Tomb. Like usually I'm talking more food services than retail here. But like you go into a restaurant, like if I know the restaurant's closing in the next 15-20 minutes, I won't go there. Like not unless it's something like I'm picking up and leaving kind of thing. Because I definitely remember working at restaurants and being stuck like 30-40 minutes after closing time because someone just showed up like 5 minutes before closing. And then you go to help them. And you know, they're going to sit down and they're going to eat and they're going to do all that stuff. And it just takes all that extra time. And so again, you're kind of standing around being like, you know what I want to be doing? Going home. And you get into that weird thing where a lot of companies will make a big fuss if you try to claim a level of overtime, and you're like, okay, boss, am I supposed to tell the people to, like, get out of the store? Or, like, you know, or else? Or what am I supposed to do here? Alright, so we've got more stuff we can put on shelves. How much is a shelf? Single-sided shelf blue, single-sided shelf red. The single-sided shelf red is bigger than blue. We also have a racetrack and another poster. So let's go ahead and buy the shelf. Because we're going to try to expand our merchandise lines. Okay, so other products. You're buying up all of those. We definitely need to get more of these items on the shelf. Buying one item for like 10 bucks and then give me a 50. That's cool. I didn't want change or anything. Not that that's a mechanic in the game. It's just always one of those things that, like, that's another one of those things that sucks in retail when someone walks in. And you're like, oh, you're just gonna buy this? Oh, it's like $4? And then they show up and they have, like, their $100 bill, and you're like, are you kidding me? It's not a big deal when it's once in a while, but you'll have, like, a run of that where a bunch of people come in and break really big bills and just clean you out on smaller bills. And I've had once or twice, like, working at the store, I'm like, can you, like, do you have change for this? Like, no, actually the answer is no, I don't have change for that. I'm, like, waiting for my person who's now panic running to the bank. You know, panic run to the bank to try and get, like, a bunch of $100 bills broken up into a bunch of 1s and 5s. And it's always 10 minutes after opening. Oh yeah, no, it's always early day, and it sets the tone for the whole day. That was, I'm not sure what FG thought. FG got a hold of a game where you ran a sushi restaurant. That it was like conveyor sushi. That's another one I didn't get to hear her end thoughts on. But like it did the automatic pricing thing where you didn't have to go in and micro the price and a whole bunch of stuff like that. Alright, so we got that. So I have no idea if, like, you don't accept hundreds if they spend at least 70. Yeah, we didn't have that. That said, we didn't see too many $100 bills, but it was more just people needing a lot of change, like doing really small purchases with larger bills, and you're just like, come on, man. So, oh, there we go. Set price. $25 an hour fee. Heck yeah. Count me in on some serious price gouging these people. $25 to use the slot car track. That is some pretty steep pricing right there. Like, I don't honestly want to change these prices. I was gonna make you $64 and call it a day. You know what? $65. To hell with these people. You're doing it in 5s and 5s only. And if that's too much, you take it up with my manager. Table earns more than half the country. I mean, it's still $25 an hour. Assuming we're open for 12 hours, that's still only gonna be breaking, like, what is it? $2,700 or something like that? I mean, don't get me wrong, $2,700 for just facilitating a track all day, and that's assuming they all sit there, and I'm assuming there'd be a gap between it. I wonder, are we still charging her for just sitting there? Oh, you actually walked up that shelf and didn't buy. Fine. I finally hit that point when they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. That is just too much. Oh, never mind, you bought. Fine, we'll go back to our 14. You set that rule because there are too many days when you'd at least have a dozen people wanting to break hundreds and spend like $5. Oh, yeah. No, it's absolutely one of those things I get. That's actually one of the nice things about so much more retail, like just going to cashless. And I know there's a lot of people who really don't like it, and, you know, fair enough. But it is just one of those things that, in those cases, a lot of that you just don't even have to worry about, like, breaking chain and all that kind of stuff. Honestly, having driven slot cars, those are some pretty underwhelming slot cars. Like, actual slot cars end up being chaos because you can't go too fast, so they manage to get off their rail. And you can get them hustling and going around the edges. You don't keep that much money in the store, so you got to the point where you started saying, sorry, we're not a bank. Yeah. Well, my curiosity is if we get one of like the supercars or whatever, because we got one that's like $1,000. So I am curious if we take one like that on the track, what'll happen. It's fine. Having gone to hobby shops who sell stuff like slot cars and the little racing cars, I can't in my head picture them moving inventory this fast. They tend to be the kind of shops that, like, it's not a large number of sales in a given day, but they've got like pretty significant margins on their sales. Fine, I'll go down to $64. Hey, Craven Horde. Slot cars, those things that go, they're real quick. Oh, yeah. No, like, and when they go around the turns, like, the whole back half of the car could just swing around and go right off. Like, that's usually on actual slot car tracks. You've got a really tall barrier around the entire outside of the track because they will become projectiles off the track quite frequently. Nope, can't quite make that happen. Yeah, so one thing I've noticed is there's no day-night cycle of any kind in the game, which is not super surprising. It wasn't slot cars, but it was another similar thing that we had with like the little electric cars you zipped around the track. So you'd have like these little wheels along the sides to try and guide them around the walls of the track and all that. And I definitely remember with those trying to come up with different things to lubricate the cars to, you know, try and get them as fast as we can get them. And the one we found that worked the best was we used brake fluid, which is not typically used for that purpose. But part of the reason it worked so well is it would slowly eat the plastic. So when you put it where the bearings were, the bearing would both slide in itself as well as it would slide in the plastic. And it was one of those things that was like, yeah, probably not sustainable, but you know, every once in a while you rebuilt the same car and again, as parts of it disintegrated going around the track. I don't think I could afford that. Nope. That X doesn't do anything. Alright. I do look forward to getting an employee. Just opening a bunch of these so I can put them on the shelves. I used to put cushions near the corners because it'd fly off and be unguided missiles. Oh yeah. No, we had that too. That was actually, with all the experiments we did with different things to try and get the wheels to turn better, the only one we got a hard no on was graphite, because it just made a mess. Powdered graphite would get everywhere. But, honestly, the reason we stopped doing it was we just got so tired of, we got so tired of rebuilding the same car again and again and again, as that brake fluid just disintegrate the plastic in the car. Also, where was it? With our collection, price, only my cars. Yeah, I was hoping I could split it up by only cars that I had duplicates of, kind of thing. You would immediately... Alright. That said, cars instead of food in Pokemon, gotta be good. Let's see, you're gonna be really negative, sorry. You'd still watch because you love Raw content. You'll watch it all, but seems like another cookie cutter supermarket slacker. Yeah, no, it is, it's got a couple things it's doing differently, but yeah, so far it's not exactly wowed me. Like, they are doing a lot of things that are pretty standard. I do like that the track has stuff going on. I know you're supposed to be able to actually do the track thing, so maybe we'll try that. Oh, that's not what I want at all. Yeah, trying to get just a little farther just to see, because it's probably one of those things that if we can get far enough, maybe we'll see the differentiation. But yeah. Alright, so I can't seem to interact with that. Like, that's... Like, they're supposed to be adding, like, a PvP mode and everything to that. We'll see what actually happens. But yeah, it's pretty typical. We'll probably end up bouncing off of it not too long. I just kind of want to give it a chance to see if, like, hey, something's interesting, different. I actually think the fact that Supermarket Simulator was such a wild success has kind of ruined this this category. Because they all just keep using the exact same... I think it's a Unity framework package or whatever. That gives you just about everything you need to get started for almost nothing. So it's just super easy to spin up a game and go with it. I do see that clearly they're trying to differentiate this game from the others. Like the things... Alright, if we're being objective, the things that are the same. The shelving kind of thing is the same, the way you cash out is the same, that's pretty standard. The truck shows up and do, like, that's all the exact same it's been. Honestly, I wish the games would stop making you, like, go to the thing and, like, type in the number and all that. I could just do without that mechanic entirely. The providing the exact change kind of thing. It's fine. I get it. Maybe a lot of people enjoy that mini game. I'm pretty over it at this stage. A lot of these games, the place they do fall apart for me is after a while, once you start getting your employee, you effectively become a warehouse worker that you just order things and move them in and out of your warehouse. And that's what you do because you have no time to do anything else. And your employees can handle all the other tasks, so you're left with the only task they can't really do. That's what caused me to bounce off Supermarket Sim. It was always just every single morning doing the orders and all that. Now, with those negative criticisms, because I want to be fair about the things this is doing well versus not doing well, is I will say it did learn from TCG in that, like, having it where you can, like, open the packages and do all that sort of stuff and find things. That said, I don't think it has the same charm as TCG does, where you open the packages and you have that wow moment of pulling a really good card. It also didn't seem like there was a fast way to get through the animation and all that. Let's actually check to see if that is the case. Nope. And I really... So yeah, you really hate being negative in your day job. It's like, oh no, let's be pragmatic about XYZ and try ABC. But yeah. Now, for the things I will give them some credit for, is almost all the retail-style games in the genre end up using almost the exact same character models for all of them, so they all literally look the same. This one, they have at least tried to go through, and they have a bunch of the models all switch up and change, which does get a couple weird ones where you're like, huh, that person looks a little odd. You think these games push you the wrong way without even trying? Yeah. Well, I mean, right now, if I'm being honest, has this really wowed me and made me go, oh yeah, you should pick it up? Not really. It's fine. I don't see the difference here. Basic Supercar box pack. Can't afford that, can I? Well, let's order one. But yeah, they have a formula. It's fine. Oh, well, there you go. So it's just a thing that after a certain point, you gain enough levels and they give you a speed up. All right, well, that's that criticism gone. Because it's just making the comment that it looks a little while to open those. So you are kind of like a medium box size? Yeah, so it's one of these boxes has a bunch of those boxes in it. I don't like the manually pricing thing. But yeah, I do think we'll probably end up bouncing off this one not super long and playing for about an hour. But yeah, so like I was saying, going back to things it seems to be doing well versus not well. The not well is if you ignore the character models and the outside, the store itself, inside the store, if I took that out of that corner and you looked at, I mean, basically we just left to the shelves, you'd be like, it's Supermarket Simulator, or it's TCG, or it's whatever. It looks the exact same. Which again, I think that's because, I don't know if it's like a Unity package or what they do. It's a bunch of them are grabbing the same like common package thing that gives them the basics for a retail store, and then just taking that skeleton and putting their piece on top of it. Which is fine if they do enough to differentiate yourself. And I will give them the credit they are trying to. But yeah. So like the going to the register and counting out the change and the credit card, that bothers me because I did retail like 20 plus years ago. And even back then, if I scan an item, it just puts it in there. Like I don't have to type in the amount I'm going to charge your credit card for. I scan your item, and I swipe your card, and assume something doesn't go wrong with your card. We're done. And so don't make me like numpad type it in. It kind of draws me out of it because I'm like, man, what's going on here? And then the cash is fine. I honestly still don't even want to deal with that. Like I'd be totally fine if you just look down and be like, cash it out. And your character just kind of goes chink, 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 done. It's fine for a little bit, it just gets annoying. And I realize it's not that big a deal because you hire a staff member and then they do it at a set rate and it's fine. So it's not the end of the world, but it does kind of annoy me that they all just keep doing that. That was one of the things that set that one aside, the sushi place. That was what I was going to say is, you just walk up to the person, they hold their card up, you click, and it swipes it, and then it's done. You didn't have to like enter the numbers and all that, and it was like, wait, I don't have to type this in manually for some weird reason? Oh, it's so refreshing. Such a rebel. But yeah, so it definitely very heavily follows the formula. They still have the thing where you order everything on your tablet, and then they've got like the store level blocks progress on like, you want to hire an employee, you gotta be level 6. I kind of almost wish the levels just went away and it was just a monetary thing that you could choose to get the cashier early, but if you had the one shelf, it'd be pretty hard to, like, they'd just eat so much of your margins. I also don't understand why this all says, oh, I have to purchase the license for the whole thing. I understand now. Yes, this is the basic one, and this is fine. This is reminiscent of TCG, and that doesn't bother me. I don't know what the skill cards are even about. They're locked behind money. Let's do one more day, and let's see what those skill cards are. Maybe that'll be something significantly differentiating. Yeah, so for the skill cards, it's 250 unlock. But yeah, and then also, like I said, opening the packages, well, I did see that we got the animation thing, so it takes away that criticism I had there. I was like, oh, that, you know, it's annoying that it's so slow. They do kind of solve that automatically, which I appreciate, and it felt like it's a better solution than they had for TCG. So I need, what was it, 250? I do feel like they have a better solution where it just shows up. But it should be probably one of those things that they make it clear it is going to show up. Let's see, you might hurt some people now, but in a good way. Schedule 1, is this framework taking the next level? I mean, Schedule 1 to me, like, it's arguably like a retail game, certainly. I would say, though, it's an entirely different animal. It's still simulating a business, though, in that one it's a illicit drugs business. But I would definitely say it's nothing. Okay, so it's just another product I can put on my shelf. I want to see what it is, though. The vehicle speeds up and becomes untargetable. The vehicle gains extra speed. Yeah, so that's where yeah, that's where they alluded to there'd be a game you can play with this. I don't know if that's in this version yet. But honestly, the retail experience we're having here, I don't think I'm gonna put the time to find it. But yeah, now back, I'm just gonna let this run because we're gonna be switching off of this. But to give the good about the game, as I said, they did take the time to differentiate the model so far as like, they at least got different character models and all that, so it's not the same character models we've seen in dozens and dozens and dozens of games. They do have this whole thing that my understanding is they're adding a whole game related to that. So it's kind of like where they play cards against each other. So it's definitely taking what TCG did and trying to expand on that. And maybe it's I just never got into slot cards versus like trading card games. But like I said, opening the packages to me, we got a $1,000-something car, and it kind of felt like a nothing burger. They're like, oh man, I got this big expensive car. Like, I could put it on the shelf and have a huge amount of money, but you know, it's okay to lean into the fanfare game. But yeah, otherwise it does feel pretty standard. It is trying to differentiate itself. Part of the credit I am going to give it is it is very clearly very, very early access, so they may have not gotten in like a lot of those extra features that are going to differentiate itself. But kind of at the same time, and this is just a broad early access comment, not necessarily for this game in particular, I'm kind of tired of jumping into games that, you know, content-wise are just not there yet. It's a fatigue thing that's not any one game's fault. But I kind of just... It's kind of become a joke that it's like, do you know what excites me when it comes to new games coming out? When they're like, it's just released. I'm like, wait, I can just play it? Like, right now I can play it and finish it, and it's done? Like, I can actually do the thing? Oh my god. That's amazing. Look at that bravery. Releasing a game in completion. And I get it. You can race already and do PvP? I haven't found where the race is. Oh, I had to wait for them to go. Sure. Opponent's car. My car. Drops a bomb that explodes and does damage. Vehicle gains speed for a while. Oh, I see. Vehicle teleports forward. If you lose the car. Okay, I mean... That's interesting. It sucks I have to sit here and wait. Look, man. It's not my fault that they added a minigame and you all had to wait. Honestly, the way they all stand in line nice. Oh, wait. I do wonder if there's like a time limit on how long they'll wait, because if not, I would be down with... And the PvP isn't there? Yeah, so trade PvP. I honestly am not that interested in the PvP to be real. Can you scam them? No, I don't believe so. If you put the price in wrong, it just doesn't work. Yeah, no, actually, I'm not very interested in the PvP. Because that's 100% if people play this with a regularity. it's going to be those things where people figure out, like, here's the meta strategy to use ability XYZ, and it's just who times it better, and I have zero interest in doing that. But that is interesting that you can Versure people and do that, though granted the sound effects were way too large. Alright, well that's at least something. But yeah, still, I think it's fine for an idea. I'm curious where the game will be after it's been around for a while. Right now, I do tend to agree, it's like, okay, it's very clearly using the same package, framework, whatever you want to call it, that all the other retail stuff has. And so it's like, okay, that's fine. If this came out before Supermarket Simulator or TCG, I think it would absolutely do well. But in a world those exist, it's like, okay, but you're not really adding that much to the formula, unfortunately. It'll be curious. Well, actually, didn't they have their roadmap here? Save game. Okay, sure. That's about now. Yeah, so let's go to the main menu, because they did have a roadmap. Yeah, so car vending machine, I don't think that changes anything. PvP chat, I don't think that changes anything. Warehouse is honestly a basic feature. Store rating app doesn't change anything for me. Limited cars, I assume that means limited edition, like they're temporary. If that's a FOMO mechanic where, like, you have to play the game at certain times or whatever to get it, that'd be a negative in my book. New card series, that's fine. New product series. Honestly, none of this really screams anything to me one way or the other, so I don't think it's a bad game. It's still super duper early access, but if you're looking for a game that's going to really kind of differentiate stuff, Like, they got all these cool tracks and all this stuff going on in the background, but it feels like it's kind of in the exact same vein as TCG Simulator. Except, like I said, opening the packages, even when I got that $1,000 card, it felt underwhelming. I think they do actually, I think it's reasonable for them when you get, like, those really good things. Give us a fanfare, like a proper fanfare. Give us the dopamine. So with that said, what's going to happen is on the YouTube side, the stream is going to go down, it's going to come back up. That's going to be a thing that's going to happen a lot of today on the YouTube side as they switch between games, so sorry, but it is what it is. You just can't switch categories on YouTube side and have it work at all well. But for the Twitch side, yeah, Supercar Collection Simulator, it's fine.